Have you ever found yourself pondering why so many individuals in their later years awaken at the peculiar hour of 3 a.m., unable to drift back into the comforting embrace of sleep? Perhaps you've experienced this yourself, lying in the stillness of the night, enveloped by darkness, your gaze fixed on the ceiling as you question what might be amiss with your physical or mental state. Rest assured, this phenomenon is far more widespread than you might imagine, and it's not merely a quirky habit or an inevitable byproduct of aging. In this exploration, we'll delve into 5 compelling reasons why older adults often find themselves stirring around 3 a.m., shedding light on what these nocturnal interruptions might signify about your body, mind, and life's journey. Each of these reasons peels back a layer, offering profound insights into your physiology, your well-being, and the cumulative experiences that shape who you are. By the time we reach the end of this discussion, you may find yourself viewing your sleep patterns through an entirely new lens, one that's illuminating and transformative. These aren't shallow, off-the-cuff explanations. They're grounded in the intricate workings of biology, the subtleties of psychology, and the natural cadences of aging that often go unnoticed by most. We'll journey through topics like hormonal shifts, evolving sleep architectures, physical health hurdles, and even the emotional and social currents that might be subtly influencing your rest. This exploration will be candid, uplifting, and deeply honoring of the rich life you've led thus far. So, if you've ever stirred awake at 3 a.m. and wondered, why is this happening now? You've landed in the perfect spot to uncover some answers. I invite you to stay with me until the conclusion, because the knowledge you'll gain here could do more than just enhance your sleep. It might deepen your appreciation for the intricate processes unfolding within you. Let's embark on this journey together. Our first stop, the decline in melatonin production. Reason 1, the waning of melatonin production. One of the most straightforward explanations for why older adults often rouse in the wee hours, frequently around 3 a.m., lies in the natural reduction of melatonin, a hormone pivotal to regulating our sleep-wake cycles. Often dubbed the body's internal timekeeper, melatonin orchestrates the delicate dance between wakefulness and slumber, ensuring you ease into sleep and remain there through the night. In your younger years, your body likely churned out a robust, consistent stream of melatonin each evening, paving the way for long, unbroken stretches of restorative rest. However, as the decades accumulate, this production begins to taper off, and the consequences ripple through your sleep experience. You might still nod off effortlessly at bedtime, particularly after a busy day or a soothing evening ritual. Yet, as the clock ticks toward the early morning hours, say, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or even 4 a.m., that once reliable melatonin reserve dwindles, leaving you vulnerable to waking. It's not a jarring alarm or a vivid dream that pulls you from sleep. Rather, your brain gently nudges toward alertness as the hormonal support that once anchored you in repose fades. This isn't a personal failing or a sign that your body is letting you down. It's simply a reflection of how your internal chemistry evolves with time. Consider how your surroundings might amplify this shift. Even the faintest glimmer of light, a street lamp's glow seeping through the curtains, the soft pulse of a digital clock, or a sliver of illumination from the hallway, can further suppress melatonin levels. As you age, your sensitivity to such environmental cues heightens, making those pre-dawn awakenings feel all the more persistent and perplexing. Picture Harold, a 72-year-old who once prided himself on his ability to sleep like a log. Recently, though, he's found himself inexplicably alert at 3:15 a.m. most nights. There's no anxiety or distress, just a clear, wakeful state, as if his day ought to begin. Initially, he wondered if he was somehow at fault, but learning that this tied to a natural melatonin decline shifted his perspective. Instead of self-blame, Harold embraced practical adjustments. He darkened his bedroom with blackout curtains, steered clear of screens before bed, and added a short evening stroll to bolster his circadian rhythm. These tweaks don't erase the early wake-ups entirely, but they've taught him to collaborate with his body rather than resist it. This awareness can be transformative. Recognizing that these awakenings stem from a biological shift rather than a personal shortcoming empowers you to take proactive steps, whether it's dimming the lights, adjusting your evening habits, or simply accepting the change with grace. It turns irritation into understanding, fostering a gentler approach to self-care in those quiet, nocturnal moments. Reason 2, a forward shift in sleep cycles. Another key factor behind those 3 a.m. wake-ups is a subtle yet significant recalibration of your body's internal clock, a phenomenon known as advanced sleep phase. As we move through the years, our circadian rhythms, those innate cycles governing sleep and wakefulness, tend to inch forward. You might find yourself growing drowsy earlier in the evening, perhaps dozing off during a late-night show, and stirring awake at first light, even when you'd prefer to linger in bed. This isn't a mere quirk of routine, it's a biological shift that often intensifies with age. In youth, your internal clock likely synced with a later bedtime and a morning rise that harmonized with daylight. But as the years advance, this rhythm edges earlier. You might slip into sleep by 9 p.m., sometimes unintentionally, meaning your body completes its restorative cycle by 3 a.m. When you wake, it's not because something's wrong, it's because your system has already fulfilled its sleep quota, even if the world outside remains cloaked in darkness. Think of it as a clock that's been subtly retuned over time, its hands creeping forward with each passing season. This adjustment isn't inherently problematic, but it can clash with a lifestyle or preferences that don't align with such an early schedule. There's a psychological dimension here, too. For many older adults, life grows quieter, households empty out, social engagements dwindle, and the bustle that once delayed bedtime fades. In this calm, your body picks up its own cues more readily, winding down sooner without the distractions of yesteryear. Consider Charles, a 68-year-old retiree. His evenings now revolve around a 5:30 p.m. dinner, an hour of TV, and a 9 p.m. bedtime. By 3 a.m., he's awake, not restless, just ready, as if his night's work is done. He initially feared insomnia, but learning about advanced sleep phase reframed it as a natural rescheduling. Charles adapted by stretching his evenings, reading under warm light, taking a post-dinner walk, or chatting with his daughter. These gentle nudges eased his wake-up time closer to dawn, aligning his rest with his daily flow. This shift is a quiet reality for many, yet it's rarely discussed. Understanding it lifts the burden of guilt or confusion, offering a compassionate way to harmonize with your body's new tempo. If 3 a.m. finds you alert after what feels like a full night's sleep, your clock may simply be set to an earlier hour, and with that insight, you can craft a routine that nurtures your well-being. Reason 3, physical signals in the night. A third reason older adults often wake around 3 a.m. ties to the body's response to physical discomfort or health challenges that emerge in the stillness of night. Aging brings a higher likelihood of chronic conditions or subtle ailments, many of which disrupt sleep without fanfare. A stiff joint, a pressing need to use the bathroom, or a fleeting ache can be enough to rouse you from slumber, especially in those vulnerable early hours. Take arthritis, for instance. Lying still for hours might feel fine at first, but as the night wears on, discomfort builds, nudging you awake. Or consider acid reflux, which might flare if dinner was too close to bedtime, stirring you with a quiet burn. Even minor shifts, dry mouth, a muscle cramp, or a room that's too warm, can tip you into wakefulness when your body's resilience isn't what it once was. For many older men, a frequent culprit is the urge to urinate. With age, the bladder loses elasticity, signaling its needs more urgently and often. During the day, distractions mask it, but at 3 a.m., in the hush, it's undeniable. The trip to the bathroom shifts you from deep sleep to light awareness, making it tricky to drift back. Medications, too, play a role. Prescribed for heart health or pain, they might increase urination, alter temperature, or heighten sensitivity, subtly fracturing your rest. Eleanor, 76, once a light sleeper, began waking at 3:30 a.m. consistently. She chalked it up to age until a doctor linked it to a medication affecting her hydration. Adjusting its timing and her habits reduced those interruptions, letting her slip back to sleep more easily. These wake-ups aren't failures, they're your body communicating, still vigilant and responsive. They're invitations to listen, adjust, and care for yourself with greater intention, turning a midnight nuisance into a pathway to better health. Reason 4, the influence of daily rhythms. Another potent yet overlooked reason for 3 a.m. wake-ups lies in the slow drift of daily habits. Over time, older adults often eat earlier, wind down sooner, and move less, signaling the body that night begins earlier, and thus, waking follows suit. Post-retirement, without the structure of work or social demands, your rhythm softens, and sleep creeps forward. A quiet evening with little stimulation triggers melatonin sooner, lulling you to sleep by 9 p.m. completing that cycle. You're awake at 3 a.m. Food timing matters. 2. An early dinner might drop blood sugar overnight, stirring you subtly. Caffeine, even from midday, lingers longer as metabolism slows, lightening sleep. Walter, 74, saw this unfold after retiring. Dinner at 5 p.m., dozing during the news, and bed by 9 p.m. shifted his wake-up to 3 a.m. Puzzled, he tweaked his routine, afternoon walks, brighter evening light, no naps, easing his sleep later. Habits hold surprising sway. Adjusting them can realign your rest, proving the body thrives on gentle, consistent cues. Reason 5. The mind's quiet on rest. Finally, waking at 3 a.m. can stem not from the body, but the mind. As life slows, emotions once drowned by busyness rise in the night's silence, memories, regrets, or faint worries surfacing when distractions fade. This isn't loud anxiety, but a soft, reflective hum, sifting through the past or yearning for connection. Loneliness often whispers here, too, as social ties thin. For Gloria, 80 and widowed, daytime busyness fades to 3 a.m. thoughts of her husband or hidden concerns. She began journaling those moments and added evening rituals, music, a note to a friend, easing her mind back to rest. These wake-ups signal depth, not defect. Embracing them with curiosity can yield not just sleep, but self-understanding. Closing reflections. Reflect on what struck you most: biological shifts, physical cues, or emotional echoes. These 3 a.m. moments aren't flaws, they're your body and mind still alive, adapting, speaking. Listen to them as guides, not nuisances, and you'll find not just better rest, but a richer connection to yourself. Share your thoughts below, what resonated, and how we use it. Your voice fuels this journey. Thank you for being here.